Welcome back to the Manor. Julian McBain here, and tonight we're taking a break from Cyberpunk and playing some Entropia Universe. Oh, and the main reason we're doing that is because I missed the whole news where there was this massive 24.5 gig plus update to the game. So I am definitely for lack of any sort of time to do that download, and I made a valiant attempt. I made a valiant effort. That's not the pet I wanted to pull out. But I didn't have time to do the download properly. So instead, we are going to play some EU, which I have gotten requests for in the recent past. So that's what we're going to do. But as we get started, if you're new to the channel, welcome to the Manor. Please take a moment and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. Also, please consider going to patreon.com/JulianMcBain if you want to support my work. If you do, you'll get a copy of the Modern Entropian for your support. Oh, and personal finance for gamers. Huge shout out to my patrons, Red Kryptonite, James Lambertson, and Spectrum 3900. You know what we might do? We might do the Kuhofs. It's been a hot minute. I don't know that I've got enough sword for that. I might have to order another one in. Hopefully there's one on the auction house at Calypso. It's been a while since I've live streamed Entropia Universe. I haven't done it since New Year's. So yeah, let's do the Kuhof. We'll drop bags. I know, wonderful opening. This wasn't planned, can you tell? We'll drop bags and then we'll jump in. I'll check on swords, and if there's a sword available, then we'll do a Kuhof. I think I've got a level 3 key. Where? No, they're under miscellaneous, right? Or is it tools? Tools. I've got 2 1s and a 3. So. As long as I can get the weaponry, that's what we'll do. Because having the weaponry is always important. You know what I mean? Without the weaponry, you're kind of SOL. So, I see a couple people just joined us. The Cyberpunk plan had to be panned for the night because I did not hear the news about the quarter or the 25 plus gig. Okay. Download that you needed for it. I discovered it about 10 minutes before airtime, and I made a valiant effort to download all 24.68 gigs, and that wasn't happening. So we're doing this instead. Which, in my opinion, it's always a good night for Entropia Universe. Okay. Yeesh, that's a number for you. This is me anal retentively recording my profits and losses. Okay, today's the 30th, which means these are all from yesterday. 666. Because who could forget that? We'll do that repair. And convert. No, I don't want to get rid of the boxes. We're not actually getting rid of it either. We're just counting them up. And then I think no guns, no armor. So it's 23.93. There we go. I've got all those guns, which is really nice to have. Okay, we're suffering a bit of lag. Hey, cat. There we go. Oh, for Pete's sake, don't lag out on me now, Entropia. Alright, we'll just throw all this in storage for the time being. Now, what are you? Okay. Low markup. Info from the Embra series. Thank you for nothing. Oh, it's not an ammo burn. That's interesting. 109 ped left. This is probably a dropped weapon. If I'm going to go through the trouble of using a weapon like that, I'm probably just going to pull out my reusable one. So, we'll go to Calypso, LB35, and there are two on the market. So we are going to blind the screen. And I have not gone anywhere, but I don't need all of you seeing what my bank information is. And, whoops, no, not that much. I can't afford that much. I ain't got that much in my bank account. There we go. $86. We'll pay for Express. It makes it 92. 86. And that one will do regular delivery for 2 ped. So 86, 6 and 6 is 12. That's 2. 8 and 8 is 16 plus 1 is 19, so it's 192 for the 2 weapons. Plus 8 is 200. Yep, that was an expensive order. That's okay. All right. Let's go do some Kuhofs. Pick up some Mirasol tokens. Whoops, I gotta aim for right in here. See that ridge there? That's where the pond area is. So I don't know how many Entropians I have in the chat right now, but we're going to be doing the Kuhof on Toulan. We're going to be hunting for some Mirasol tokens that I can use toward picking up one of the few pages that are left at the Mirasol Trader, which is up here at the Citadel, assuming they haven't all been bought yet, which I don't think they have been. I think that would be news. Since Cyberpunk had to get the kibosh put on it, unfortunately. 25-ish gig download kind of put the kibosh on that real quick. I did not realize it was there. I would have started it when I got home this afternoon instead of 10 minutes before stream. No, that's fair, Cat. No, it looks like someone wants to be Monrian born, which is good. We need more people to sign up through Planet Partners and not just through the Entropia Universe homepage, which is all Calypso. Not that I have anything against Calypso. My tune started on Calypso. It's a great planet. I do think that because of the requirements of MindArc, the Planet Partners really need the support of people logging in on those or starting out on those planets. I have a big spot in my heart for Virtual Sense, who do Monria and Toulan, and Cyrene, which unfortunately they've got a great team. Not unfortunately that they have a great team, but even though they have a great team, it's a sparse planet because not a lot of people know about it until after they're in Entropia Universe, which was my problem. Like, Cyrene is technically my favorite planet. I say technically because, well, there are a lot of favorite planets now. Toulan, Monria, Cyrene. But I make sure to visit Cyrene every single year for a while because I really enjoy the planet. It does have some gaps, and part of the reason it has those gaps is because without the player base, the team there doesn't have the support it needs in order to progress. Ooh, coffee. Coffee's the way to go. Okay, so let's do Kuhov 3. So we'll go tools. Give her the crystal ball. Okay. And here we are. So let's set up. We'll put this sword in the main docket, and we're going to throw on the yeesh. We'll go with the slightly more efficient one, even though, I mean, overall the efficiency is going to technically be the same, I guess. I don't know. It's just using that thing is really expensive, and I come to think of it is I mean, we're doing this obviously tonight. Oh no, the Mayhem is not opened yet. Oh, we should probably do Ghosted Up. The thing about playing in here, in these, is you always want to make sure you have enough ammo. Always, always, always. Whoa. This isn't what I was expecting. Interesting. Okay, let's pull up the Catfish. Because you don't get any awards until the end. These suckers fly. It's a good thing my sword can still hit him. Be a serious bitch if it couldn't. I wonder, I wonder what kind of damage these guys do. I mean, clearly part of the answer is solid, but no, I didn't want to heal that. I've got a regen. I've got a life steal amp for a reason. Gotta be careful so the camera doesn't angle way the hell up. On the bright side, this will get my affection for my auto loop pet way up. At least ways I hope so. This is a place. These places are places that you would probably normally go with a friend. I mean, I can take on the highest level one solo. It's not easy, and it takes a long time, but I can do it. It's not like I'm for lack of stats. But if you want to like roll through these, bring a party of like 2 or 3 through. Just rickroll the whole group. Speaking of which, I actually saw a meme on Twitter. Not sure if you call it a meme, but it was a display. And someone actually had the temerity to direct message Rick Astley. And they asked him a couple of perfunctory but polite questions, and then said, "Hey, will you check out my YouTube channel?" And the next reply, and it had a link, and the next reply is, Did you just rickroll me?" Whoever had the guts to rickroll Rick Astley is like master troll right there. They should get a medal. I don't know about you, but it makes my neck want to crane when we look way the hell up like that. Okay. These things are like weird bat people. I mean, yeah. They're like weird bat people. Not quite sure how to feel about them, to be honest. On the bright side, I've got the excess ped, so if we have to, I can run back to a trade terminal and buy more ammo, which is suboptimal, but it is what it is. Get it all back in shrapnel at the end, of course. You know, it's funny, I'm so used to dungeons being like these high intensity deals where it's you and 4 other people or 3 other people, and you've got to match each other's rotations, and you've got to make sure you're doing everything right. And these Kuhoff dungeons, yeah, if you screw up, you're done, right? But they're kind of low key. Why bats? Sad part is actually I don't have a real problem with real bats. I've actually had them in my, like, I woke up one night a couple of years back, and there was one in my room, just flying, like, it woke me up. Like, what the frick? And I turn on the light, and there's a bat flying around the room. Trying to get it to go outside. I've got the window open. It hasn't figured out that it can escape, and I had to use the screen to catch it because it couldn't grip anything. And so I held the screen up, and it landed on the screen, and I just put the screen up in the window, and off it flew. And then earlier this past spring or fall, I go downstairs to do something. I can't remember. I turn on the kitchen light, and this bat just starts screaming at me from under the counter. I'm like, Jesus Christ. We're still not sure how it got in. And we're pretty sure it had been inside the house for a while because we found half a mouse at one point, and bats will eat mice. What? Kafash? I mean, they could have named them bird puppies. That's basically what a flying fox is. Okie dokie. The Kafash Kuhoff Master. The Kuhoff part is just a dungeon they're in. I don't know where the word Kafash comes from. It might be... I mean, Toulan is very Arabia-based. So it might have something to do with that. I mean, you've got the Kafaz that we were hunting out in on the overworld, and then you got the Jeef and the oh, there's other critters out the tabs. Some tabs wear pants. I don't know, Kat. They kind of remind me. I feel like they should be a yokai. I don't recall ever seeing a yokai of this form, but I get this massive, it's just this sneaky feeling they should be a yokai. And having mentioned yokai, now I want to watch Rosario and Vampire again. Come on. Thank you. I'll be very happy when the Asclarius gets his auto loot skill. Which he has the skill, I just don't have the reputation with it. I don't have the affection with him. Once he's up to 100%, I can turn on the ability and boom. Never use an auto loot pill again, which I think I already scrapped all of mine. Nope, I didn't. Okay. Don't really need it in here because all the loot's at the end, but still. The one downside to that is you really need to plan ahead for ammo in these places. You can't just cycle shrapnel like you would in the overworld. So this is the second room. If I remember correctly, these are all 4-ish chambers large. And difficulty is mostly predicated on the sheer number of mobs. Okay. Well, now there is a bat yokai, and it's called the Kafash. They make funny little noises, and they try to zap you. Okay, tab targeting. Note to self, do not do Kuhoff 3 again. You're going to go through the trouble, do a number 1, which requires like no effort at all, or do a number 5, where you're not going to crane your neck every 5 seconds because the freaking camera keeps angling way the hell up. Stupid bats. Hi, James. That would be Ghost. Which actually in here I could probably get away with Turelian because of my regen. But I don't want to have to mess with healing too much because I don't have a huge amount of reserve ammo. I had forgotten about the whole you can't cycle your shrapnel while in a Kuhoff instance thing. My bad. Good job, Cat. No, I am not using plates. This is straight up just Ghost. And props to Cat because you're not even an Entropian and you know what I was wearing. Not that Ghost doesn't look like half a dozen other armors, but I've been watching the stream long enough. Actually, I mistook Rascal for Ghost at first, because it does look almost identical. It's just a brighter white. Which actually isn't a bad intermediary armor. And then the other armor I have on me, I've got the Turelian, which I use for most of my overland hunting right now, because I'm hunting low-level stuff. I've got Ghost, which is my primary armor for when I'm doing actual at-level stuff. And I've got a full set of Vigilante, which I've barely ever used. I'm actually less than impressed by it, but it's really out there for hunting bots. And even hunting bots, I find the Ghost generally is a better armor in most cases. Or at least when it comes to, it's more cost efficient. Vigilante decays at a much higher rate, from what I can tell, than Ghost. I don't know why. Now, I will say that on my short list of things to pick up in this year is our plates, and it's the 5Bs, which are the plate that everyone gets for this armor. So I want to pick up a full set of unlimited 5Bs, which run, I want to say they run between 400 and 600 ped for a full set. depending on the time of year. Like, don't buy them during Mayhem. That is the biggest mistake you can make, because everyone's buying plates during Mayhem. The cost goes through the roof. If you buy them between Mayhems, and actually the best time to buy them probably just passed, because there's a huge gap between Merry Mayhem and Easter Mayhem. And I think there's another plate price drop during Migration, because I don't believe the Longtooth do the kind of damage that the plates really are optimized against. But if you're going to buy plates, yeah. The frick are you supposed to be? I mean, it's... It reminds me of the friggin' tentacle monster from SAO. Mallcat. Insient at heart with a gelatinous body. The clear amniotic aspect of their skin allows them to retain Nawa energy longer, which is how they survive the region's harsh environments. And the Mallcat can be dangerous when they feel threatened and emit Nawa glows from their viscous form. Yikes. ALO called. They want their tentacle monster administrators back. Honestly, if the main Mayhem instances had been opened, I probably would have done Mayhem tonight. But I'm not going to spend it on practice. Not because practice is necessarily bad, but if I'm going to dump the pet into it, I'm going to go for the competition. I don't really have a need to farm boxes. Oh. So, if you look at the Easter Mayhem page, so when it pops up in the launcher, you'll see Easter Mayhem there. Click on the photo, and it brings you into a page, and it'll tell you what the limits for each Mayhem are, each category. The other option is you can go up here to events. This pops open the event pane. Go to global, and then pick one of the Mayhems. Like for me, I'm in category 4. No, I'm am I cat 4? Yes, I think I'm cat 4. I would view detailed information and look at the rules. And so for the rules for category 4 are the health attribute can be no more than 175. The max DPS base is 74. Max combat professional level is 55. If I go down to 3, it's 160, 60, and 45. Now, if we look at my skills, you can see my attributes. My health is 164, which puts me above the soft cap, but that's not a hard cap. I think they'll still let you in if that's the only thing you're over on. But if we go into my professions, my swordsman is 47, which puts me above the 45 hard cap for that, so I'm definitely category 4. So you have to look at your own stats. Again, when you pop into the event pane, select which Mayhem category you think you qualify for. I strongly recommend you go for the lowest one you're qualified for. You never want to go higher than that, because you're just going to end up wasting time. And in Mayhem, efficient kills, if you're doing Annihilation, kill efficiency is king. The faster you can cycle through mobs, the better off you are, which is why they put a limit on how high your DPS can be to make sure you don't outclass other players in that particular category. So if this is your first Easter run, James, what is your highest combat profession? Because that's what's really going to tell you what category you need to be in. And honestly, if you're below level 10, it's going to be a struggle. It is. It might be worth waiting for you to make that level. I don't know how new you are, James. I think you've been around for a while, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you want to do Mayhem, do Mayhem. By all means, do Mayhem. You can farm boxes. It's a great place to gather skills. I actually played Mayhem back in Category 2 just to get up my longsword skills. And it was worth it, because now I'm level 47 longsword. But just be aware that you're going to want to have a healing device on you, whether it's a FAP or a restorative chip. I personally am partial to the Mind Force over the FAPs, but that's just me. Either one will work. Oh, we got two. Actually, I don't mind killing these. I like them a lot better than the frickin' bats. Don't make my camera pan way the hell up. Okay, so you're using an LB15. You've been playing for 6 months. Go into your professions, the little star on the upper right. Click on it, and tell me what the first under the chevrons tab for combat professions. What's this first one? It's probably going to be swordsman hit if you primarily use swords. But if you're using an LB15, if I had to guess, you're probably looking at Cat 2. I remember when I first switched to ammo burner swords from using, because for a while I refused to use ammo burners. I'm like, why would I use an ammo burner? That's the reason I'm using a sword, is not to burn ammo. And then I found out just how much more efficient ammo burner swords really are. And I was like, boy, I'm a dumbass. I have found that there are more melee players popping up in the newer player base, which I'm glad to see, because it's going to drive demand for swords, which means more crafters are going to be making swords. But more importantly, because, well, it's swords. Why wouldn't you rather use a sword? No, I'm not biased at all because I'm a fencing instructor or anything. I can't say much. I actually use both swords and guns rather regularly, but still. Okay, so 18. Yeah, I'm going to guess you're at category. Let's see what category 1's requirements are. Oh, no, you're cat 1. You're category 1. That's perfect. That'll get your skills up. You're going to have a good chance at competing at a decent level. You might even blow through level 25 while you're in there, depending on how many cycles you decide to go through. So yeah, go for it. If you're level 18, jump into Cat 1, try out the practice, see how it is before the real competition starts, before you commit to the 10 hours. And just have some fun with it. Your damage will always be behind your hit in general. Although I think part of that's because long swords favor hit, short blades favor damage. And they actually affect each other. So, like, my short blade hit is currently relatively high to my short blade damage because of all my work with long blades. When I started using short blades to kind of even it out, my long blade damage went up and evened it out. So I would recommend spending time on your short blades as well. This is something that I really need to actually take the time and do more of. Honestly, what I should do is I should sacrifice a whole Mayhem, just pick up short blades in the level I'm good at, because practice doesn't lock you out for anything. And practice at whatever level short blade I can use and just do short blades for the whole Mayhem and get it caught up, because I've got all of these freaking skill boost pills from various boxes I've opened over the last 3 years that I hardly ever use anymore. And that would really make up some of that gap. So, glad to see another swordsman. Really happy to see another swordsman in the game. Once you're a bit higher, I mean, it would benefit you now, but from a cost efficiency perspective, I would use the opportunity to get your healing abilities up before you start doing this. They're not super expensive on the auction house, but these M Matrix, this is a Delta. Lifesteal by 8%. That's an 8%. Every time I hit them with the sword, I steal 8% of their health. Or 8% of the damage I do comes back to me as health. It also increases evade, dodge, and critical damage by 20%. Or 20 damage points for critical damage, but everything else is 20%. Really nice to have. Again, I would probably wait till you're level 30 before starting to invest in those. Not because they wouldn't help you at lower levels. They absolutely will. One of the things you want to think about, though, is where is the level of your other skills in relation to where your primary combat skill is. So, like, I have spent time doing nothing but using a rifle, and it's Bukin, so it's very, very low. But I'm doing that to catch my rifle skill up with my sword, because being a swordsman when you're solo or when your support people are primarily like healers is awesome. When the rest of the people you're with are riflemen, you're useless because you're running around chasing the mob as it goes after the people shooting at it. So you want to have that more even ability with a rifle. And I learned this the hard way. I ended up in a couple of groups. I'm a swords person. I like to tank. There is no taunt in this game, which I think is something that MindArc really needs to revisit. If I had any major complaints about this game, it's the fact that you don't have a taunt skill. If there was a taunt skill and I could focus on tanking, that would make me a lot happier, because I'd be a lot more useful in group settings and I wouldn't be stuck just soloing. This is one of the reasons that I think that Virtueverse is really going to cut in on where Mind Arc is, because it really promotes those group dungeon dynamics, like in a World of Warcraft. You can specialize, not that there's character classes, but you can take the time to specialize to the point where there is a taunt, and there are tangible differences between different weapons classes, and there are in this too, but it's a lot less noticeable, if that makes any sense. Not saying that I'm going to stop playing Entropia Universe, because that ain't fucking happening. I will probably play this game until either the servers get shut off or until the day I die and they upload my brain into the game itself for me to live out the rest of eternity. Oh boy. I think we have one chamber left after this. If we run into a big spot again, I think there's one more giant chamber full of them to do. If there is, I'll take a break at that point. Just like a 5-minute. Should probably check around corners before I go charging into places, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, we got a group here. Okay, y'all. I'm going to take a 5-minute. When I come back, we're going to finish this up. So grab a drink, grab a snack. We'll be right back. And we are back. Okay, let's finish the instance. No, I have to say, I really enjoy doing Mayhems. You just have to be prepared for what the ped layout is on them. Between cats 1 and 3, it's not terrible. It really, I mean, cat 3, you start to really kind of feel the impact of it. Cat 4, it really becomes a lot more noticeable. But honestly, as your skills get up, if you've got the looter skills where they need to be, you will get it back in shrapnel. You will. That doesn't mean it doesn't hurt in the short term. There we go. So yeah, no, take James, if you're still with us, take that LB15 of yours. I'd pack like 3 of them. And then I would also get, if you have the ped to spend, get the melee trauma 1, which should work with that because it's only a +4. And that'll bring your efficiency up a little bit. Because, like, here is my current sword, and our Matrix series have very similar efficiencies. It goes up just a little bit at each level. Oh, that brings my efficiency up by 0.5%. Well, let's do this. Ah. I see. Well, good to know. Good to know. Did not know that. I learned that the higher the level the amp is, the more efficiency it gives you. I did not know that. I should have. I've been playing the game long enough, but I did not know that. The other thing that you should know, James, I'm sure you figured this out by now, but it took me a solid 3 months to figure this shit out because I was kind of dumb. I thought I could play it like I played WoW, and that is not the case. Just however you decide to play, whatever level you decide to play at, don't feel bad if you're not dumping like gobs of ped in or playing at the same level that me or Serial Overdrive or Bonnie play at. I mean, Bonnie outstrips me for outlay by just huge amounts. I mean, I'm pretty sure she plays this professionally. I think this is her job, which I think would be awesome, and I don't ever see me getting that good. I'm not that cool. But, you know, don't try to play with the same amount of outlay as other players. You don't need to. Play what's good for you. If this is what you want to do and this is the only hobby you have or whatever, and you put all of your spare money into it, do you. On the other hand, if you just put like $5 a month into it and you do some low level hunting with like a Rubio or a Buchan spare rifle, you can do that too. So Mayhem is a 10-hour event per try. You don't have to do it all at once. What you do is you go in, you hit the item in the middle, and it starts the clock. 10 hours and counting. and then you fight until you're done for the session, and then you run to the exit, and as soon as you hit the exit, the clock stops. And then when you cycle back in, it saves where your time is and your score. When you go back in, you hit the start button again, the clock starts again. And you have 10 total hours to do this. Now, there's a strategy that you want to do when you're doing this if you're looking to play for points. One, if you're not playing to compete, just do practice. You're going to get all of the, well, in my opinion, just do practice. You're going to get all of the benefits of Mayhem without the stress of the clock and without the stress of the points. If you're just farming boxes, do the practice. Yeah, if you want to be doing it and have no one else there, then don't do the practice, do the thing, even if you're just farming boxes. But if you don't care if there are other people in the room with you, just do the practice. Farm the boxes there, and there's less stress. If you're doing it to compete, or if you want to see how you do, which is what I do. It's pretty much I don't expect to win because there's a lot of RNG in the point system, but I do it to see how I measure up, right? You want to keep going until the boss mob spawns. The boss mob will spawn after a certain number of mobs die. I don't know what that number is. I do know that on average, it's anywhere between 45 minutes in and an hour and 10 minutes in, depending on how close to the end of the max for that category you are. If you're spawning a boss every 45 minutes, that's probably the last time you'll be in that category. The reason you want to do this is if you're playing for points, the boss is worth 250 points, plus you automatically get a strong box. This makes the bosses very, very useful. So you never want to abandon until you've fought the boss. And what I do is I actually grab the boss, drag him back to the exit point, just far enough away so I don't accidentally click myself out of the instance in the middle of the boss fight. And then as soon as the boss is down, I loot the boss, turn, and exit the instance to minimize the amount of time that I lose. Being mindful of the clock is critical when doing Mayhem. So that's what I mean by the 10 hours. It's a 10-hour clock that every time you clock in, the clock starts. As soon as you exit, the clock stops until 10 hours is up. Once 10 hours is up, the score is recorded, boom, done. And then you can go back and try again, like in Christmas Mayhem or Merry Mayhem, Global Cat 4 scores. You can see the scores are all, oh, they took him out. Well, that's no fun, Mind Arc. Pouty face. I was going to show where they listed all the scores, but apparently Mind Arc deleted them. Probably in preparation of the current Mayhem. Okay, boss appears in 30 seconds. I actually did this in less than an hour. And that includes the break. I'm kind of impressed. The 5 is like an hour and 15 frickin' minutes. Kind of wonder what's going to spawn. I know it won't be a big-ass Cafes. Or maybe. Maybe it will be. Hopefully it's not a bat. It's a bat. It's because I said hopefully it's not a bat. Yeah, you're still ugly. So now you look like you're on fire. He actually does. He looks like he's like a molten bat. Kind of looks cool, to be honest. But James, as you go, you're going to learn all kinds of cool tricks for efficiency and how best to do things. And it's just a matter of figuring out what the little tricks are. And every player has their own way of doing it. I don't know who the most efficient person is. I know for a fact it ain't me. Okay, let's see what the treasure chests bring us. Boys and girls. Boom. Animal eye oil. Nice. Thyroid oil. And a shitload of it at that. Very nice. Okay. That doesn't lend us a lot of ammo, though. What's the market cap? No, that's going to be low. It's the thyroid oil. Yeah, 104. Not terrible. Having looted all 3 boxes, out we go. There we are. And I'll do that later. Now, hopefully I don't lose it for not doing all 3 tonight, because there's no way in hell I've got the time to do them all tonight. I ended up with 350 total Mercel tokens. Let's take a quick trip to... Is there a TP down here? No, there isn't. Is there? Of course there's not. Why would there be? Grumble, grumble, grumble. Beautiful fountain. And this door to nowhere. Actually, what is over here? Is it just set dressing? Yep. Whoa. This is how you can tell it's set dressing. I managed to clip through, and there is nothing there. Okay. Kind of funny, actually. Torch lighting effects could use some work. It's supposed to be flickering, not seizure inducing. Mind arc. Just saying. And yes, I know I rag on the game a lot, and I do it because I love the game. Okay, let's see what we got for skills here. So, Mock Hat, dexterity, we'll go athletics. And again. And then normally I do perception because that helps with those looter skills. But I'm going to go for the hit points with courage. This time I'll do perception. It's all for the Mock Hat. Now for the Kafash. Athletics. And again. And perception. That's all we get for that. And then the meta. Stamina. Always, always, always stamina. Because with stamina comes hit points. And for a tank like me, that's what matters. So we got about 15 minutes left on tonight's stream. Let's... Let's do a wave spawn event and see if I can actually cut it this time. The last time I was here, I could not kill the mobs fast enough for the wave spawn event. Let's do this. "45 seconds. Come on. Bring me the kaffas." Pull out their, been hunting enough of them lately. The glow of my sword is lighting the way. It lights up like Sting does from The Lord of the Rings. Three, 2, 1, go. I'm lame. Wait, is that it? They're all level 3s? Shouldn't even be using this sword. Come on. Oh, that was a good loot. Thought I just saw 8 ped worth of something. Oh yeah. 8 ped worth of shrap, nothing to sneeze at. I don't do wave events very often. Most of the time, the only reward you get is a temporary buff. But I thought it would be worth trying out. Question in the wave events is, can you kill them fast enough? Because you're on the clock. Which reminds me, there's that Warlord event I need to try again at some point. Once I hit the LB40, I think I'll try challenging that again on Calypso. Or the War Chief, rather. A level 6. Jeez, I'm crow. They're everywhere. I did not realize that these waves were this big. Would make sense though, considering the size of the wave spawn. No wonder the Titans all come down here as a group. Who are you? Kais? I'd just like to take a moment and point out that if you're coming to Toulan from space, Toulan looks like a quantum singularity because of where the directional light is in space. Couldn't figure out where Toulan is. It's the black hole. Although I guess it technically doesn't look like a black hole the way black holes actually look, because we've actually seen black holes now. And they're huge. And they're just massive, and they're scary as fuck. Thankfully, it appears that due to their massive gravitational pull, they'll always have plenty of stuff around them that we can see, because it's unlikely you'll actually see the hole itself. So you won't just, you know, waltz into the event horizon by mistake. Because there's really no coming back from that. Once you enter a gravity well that's so powerful, light can't escape it. You're kind of fucked. Grab the one, thank you. It's like I've got this stray over here. We're going to target everything but the one you want and cycle through the next one again. Because it's not the one you want. Fuck you, tab targeting. Okay. I didn't think that they would take... I should have known better. I didn't think it would take this long, and I really should have known better. Let's do a wave event. On the bright side, we've managed to get the Asclarius up to 61% affection. We're getting close to the auto loot. I'm looking forward to it. And there's more. Oh, I hate to do this, but I'm probably gonna have to call it. Kind of hope to do at least 1 or 2 waves, but I don't have the steam. Okay, so we're gonna abandon the wave event as much as I hate to, because it's getting close to 10:30, and unfortunately, I have a 9 to 5 I've got to work in the morning. So such is life. Friday, expect it to be Cyberpunk. I will make sure to download the rest of the update before then. We'll be doing the Delamain mission set. Apparently Delamain has gotten himself a virus and we need to take care of things. Or if not a virus and something's going on, I just hope it's not the, you know, Cyberpunk reincarnated GLaDOS again. So we'll keep working on that. I'm already 30 hours into Cyberpunk. I was kind of surprised that it had been that long, but no, according to the thing, it's about 30 hours. Now, I know that some of that time has been on idle waiting for live streams, so call it probably, let's see, that's 12 times 1.5 on average. So 18, call it 20 hours. It's got to be more than that, though. Doesn't matter. We're getting there. That's the point. So I'm already looking at what will come after Cyberpunk. I have not made that decision. Oh, it's Skyripper. Those things are friggin' huge. Check that shit out. That is cool. These are from Next Island, of course. So when Cyberpunk's over, I will come up with another thing to play. I haven't figured out what that is. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe down below. We are on the road to 13 million subscribers, one subscription at a time, so make sure you subscribe. And as always, thank you so much for your support. Big shout out to my moderators, Kat, Jay Lambertson, and Captain Aubrey, and my patrons, Red Kryptonite, Jay Lambertson, and Spectrum 3900 for your support. And we'll see you in the next one.